player, maybe messing around with one of those. We thought it was really going to be between Texas. Did not see the Texas Tech
$5 million hat.
$5.1 million lid that they had, but that's what they do. They go and get a huge blue chip guy.
Expensive.
How do you feel about that, right? We're in a different era of college football now where we've been used to bidding wars for a few years, and now we're in a revenue sharing era where, hey, that's a lot of chunk of your cash that you're signing there, and a lot of this comes from the NIL. We know that. They inked the deal for him. But this is a big recruit for Texas Tech, who's trying to emerge. There is no front runner. When I talk with Texas Tech here, they are anticipated to have a really good year. But in the world of the Big 12, I mean, that is a crapshoot for who's going to win it. And I think when it comes to recruiting, we're seeing them be the one that's standing out of all the teams.
Yeah,
for sure. Transfer portal was unreal this year for them. I think they ended second technically. They were first until LSU surpassed them. Still had a great year where a lot of new players are coming in. They have huge hopes for this year that they will be the team to come out of the Big 12. Not guaranteed you'll have more than one team make it out of the Big 12 to make playoffs. We saw that last year with Arizona State. There's 4 teams, I believe, that I think it's 8 or 8.5 is a win total to get to that. And they're one of those 4 teams in the top. Kansas State, Arizona State's in there as well. And I am missing one right now, maybe Iowa State. I believe those are the teams that are supposed to have the best season, Kansas State. So, yeah, watch out for Texas Tech. But this is a huge commitment. I mean, he's a blue-chip guy. Yeah. True 5-star in all sites and all rankings that you can go. This guy is one of the better players in college football, 2026 high school class. I mean, this is huge for Texas Tech to get, correct?
Absolutely.
You know, it makes sense. And I think instead of getting terribly bent out of shape about missing out on some of these big recruits, it is a testament to, once again, the roster that is currently on the 40 acres and what will be there. Because think about how long Kelvin Banks played. Think about who else did we send in the NFL draft this year? Cam Williams.
Cam Williams, right.
Is these guys that was the most impressive thing about this Texas offensive line last year is how many of the guys were 4-year starters, the continuity and all that. Once we kind of get guys on the line, there's not going to be some younger guy that comes and replaces them, is what seems to have been the trend with Sarkisian. And so when you miss on someone like this, it's just, hey, guess what? We have Ojo at home. All right, you know.
I'll say this too, and I've mentioned it a lot last week, and I think we're all on the same page here. We're in an era now where I think positional value is so important for players and for teams, right? I mean, you're going out to get, obviously Texas wanted to go get Ojo, one of the top players in the class, but Ojo wanted to go to a spot where he's going to play right away. And that's not guaranteed. If you're coming to the 40 acres, you're going to play right away. You got Trevor Gooseby there right now. You got Brandon Baker, who's been developing. Nick Brooks is another one to watch out for. There's a lot of great offensive linemen that are committed to the University of Texas or already on the 40 acres. So this is a place where he's going to go get some money. I'm kind of shocked that Texas Tech, of all teams, is the one to do it, not Michigan, Ohio State, or Florida. But that's
well, they spent all their money on a quarterback up in Michigan,
right?
Yeah, and I think we're in this new era of college football, and I think Texas Tech sees that the Big 12 is open for the taking.
Wide open.
And they're buying, spending money in college football is not a new thing.
No, it's not.
In Texas Tech, I'm looking at the map of Texas right now. Very much in the middle of nowhere, very much out in the oil fields, and that's where their money comes from. But it's going to be hard to recruit Lubbock, and that's where the money comes in.
Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely. This is a program that won 8 games last year, and one of those wins over a college football playoff team in Arizona State.
Yeah.
So they clearly know that with what they have offensively, Micah Hudson, that they are right around the rim, and it's anyone's game, and why not them?
Texas is a hotbed of high school talent. We know that. I mean, it's always Texas, Florida, and California, right? With that being said, Tech will always be able to just recruit Texas, and now if you're able to spend money with the big dogs, you're going to land people like this. I mean, we've seen how important the trenches are in college football and at every level of football. If you have a good offensive line, it's going to do good things for you. And that's what Tech is trying to establish by bringing in a blue-chip offensive lineman. Will this work? That remains to be seen, but Tech is absolutely going for it in multiple sports, and now in this new era of revenue sharing. If your football team's good, that opens up the door for
basketball to be great.
For basketball, and Tech already, I would say right now the second best basketball program in the state, maybe the third. Baylor's had a couple down years. I mean, U of H and Tech and Baylor have
been the schools
have had all the success in the world. I mean,
Texas is trying to chase them now. I mean, you got Sean Miller, of course, but you just said the top 3, and Texas isn't one of those 3.
No,
even if you don't count Chris Beard, Texas has fired 2 basketball coaches in the last 5 to 10 years,
yeah, that's
7
true.
years.
So hopefully they find their guy in Sean
where'd
Miller.
Chris Beard come from?
Texas Tech.
Exactly.
Got them in a national championship. So
Yes, they did.
I think this is a great move for Tech, especially if it can net them bigger and better things. I think Baron Morton he's a good quarterback in the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is wide open, and this is just another step in the right direction for Texas Tech.
A big commitment also for the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. They get Bryce Perry Wright, the defensive lineman, 6'2", 250, 5-star. That was 2 days ago. Saturday, he commits to the Aggies. He is out of Buford, Georgia, name to watch out for. I said this weekend he wasn't on the top. Texas was one of his teams. Clemson was as well, the U, but A&M was kind of the one that was favored, I believe, in a lot of sites that he would go there, and that's where he ends up. So they're having a hell of a recruiting class, Texas A&M as well. It's getting competitive. The world of recruiting is getting very competitive, and positional value is very apparent that is something that players are caring about. The bidding war is still happening, but it's getting more limited. We see that here. That is probably the bad. I don't think it was an awful weekend, but when you expect Felix Ojo to commit to Texas, a lot of people did, and out of nowhere, he goes to one of your in-state rivals. Yes, you're out of the Big 12, but Texas Tech, of all places, is where he commits. That is Felix Ojo.
Very nice campus.
Yes. John Turntine. Don't forget that name, though. It was a huge get for Texas, considering a few hours later on that day. Hey, I'll play this. Got some audio to get into. Jack, you referred to it. This is USA's new head coach for soccer. They lose yesterday in the Gold Cup match. It felt like a Mexico home game.
Yeah, at NRG.
At NRG there in Houston. That was a wild scene. USA scores a goal, go up 1-0, as they say in the soccer world. Yeah, 3-4 minutes in, exactly. Then it's 1-1. I believe there's a player on Mexico, for the soccer fans out there, number 7. I think the kid's 16.
Yes,
I think he just could get his driver's license in the United States. But yeah, no, this game turned out to be 2-1. Gold Cup win for Mexico. They have won 10 Gold Cups now. This is the CONCACAF. Note this, all these teams from Canada to Mexico to USA will qualify because they're all technically hosts of the FIFA World Cup.
Sneaky way to get through.
We will not see USA compete until they're playing at SoFi, I believe, in June of next year for the World Cup. Again, I'm not the biggest soccer head. I'm trying to inform what I can here. But let's hear what Coach has to say, because there was a handball call. That's the controversial call that was not called. Let's hear what the new head coach of USA has to say about that. Mauricio, hold on. Let me get the audio here. Plug in the gizmo, as Aaron would say. Am I good, Jack? Yes? Let it rip.
What I'm going to say after your question about the handball in the 66 minutes, 67 minutes in the second half, is nothing to. I think because you listen a song, no, when finish the game, that was llorar, cry on cry. But I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry. I wanted to tell the truth. The truth was that if that happened in the opposite half, in the another box, for sure it's penalty. Because we cannot talk about the rules. You say, it's silly penalty, silly penalty. It's like plenty of penalties that are so silly. Silly, yes. The player was with the knee on the floor. He pushed the hand over the ball. It's not that the hand was on the floor and the ball touched. Okay, all the excuses now, but that was penalty, and maybe 2-1 for us, and maybe we were celebrating the trophy.
So he talks about that. There was a handball that was not called. They do lose, and I'll be honest, fellas. Even with the handball call, you can say what you want. From what I observed. Again, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world, or played very much. The pee-wee soccer I played until the age of 7. Probably will not. I can't speak only so much about the sport itself. But I mean, they were getting dominated. I'll call it how it is. Now, note this: I was texting Nick Shuley, a huge USA soccer fan who watches a lot more of this. I mean, this was like our 5th string goalie, referring to the United States. This was really the C team. There wasn't a lot of the guys out there that were on the really A team. I think Tyler Adams, I believe, is the kid's name, that's been on USA for a while. He plays overseas. But your Christian Pulisics of the world, Tim Weah, they're not there. And this is they competed. I will give them credit. It was 2-1. It was an atmosphere that was really tough to play in. A lot more Mexico fans than USA fans. I think it's good preparation for them, and a lot of guys that are trying to make this team. So I will say that. I know they got the defeat there. Nobody really wants to see that if you're a USA fan. Mexico goes and wins. It's a great rivalry in soccer. But yeah, this is going to be big, man. A lot of these guys got a year now to develop with this team. This team was kind of put together. Obviously, some controversy about should the top players for USA be playing in this, or should they be getting healthy, ready for the World Cup? Well, that'll be a year from now. So we will see in June at SoFi. And also here in the state of Texas, they'll be down in Houston. I think they have 7 matches, not the USA, but just in general, the World Cup. NRG will host 7 matches, and Dallas will be hosting a similar amount as well. Those will be the 2 in the state of Texas. World Cup coming soon, but USA does lose to Mexico 2-1 in that. That was my ugly, just that missed call, but that was not really a full excuse for them to lose. That was they got beat in my eyes.
Yeah, they did
2-1. They get beat pretty bad.
First back-to-back, I believe, for a country in the Gold Cup as well for Mexico.
There you go. Hey, Mexico gets it done back-to-back as they do